When you think about being happy, often you think about things you want. But the way spirituality works is actually kind of the opposite. It's not so much about what you want, but what you need. Like the Rolling Stones song, I guess. To get what you want out of life, you really have to get what you need. And to get what you need, you have to head towards what you don't want. Wait a second, that is totally confusing. The reason why is think of it like a teeter-totter when you're a kid. And in order to play, you have to have the balance. So if you're too far this way, you're stuck. Nothing happens. You can't go anywhere. You have to go more this direction in order to find the balance and the back and forth. The same is true for the south node and the north node. In your chart, you're going to find that the south node and north node are always 180 degrees apart. That means they're opposite signs. So it would be like a Pisces Virgo, it would be like a Taurus Scorpio. You get the picture. See, what we don't even realize, probably until we're at least in our 30s, hopefully, and not living in our parents' basement, is that we all have different realities that we live in. What we think is the only way is actually just one of many ways. But we don't realize it because we are stuck in our ways. One of my friends is a psychologist, and her most two hated words in the English vocabulary are comfort zone. That is exactly what a south node in your chart is. It's your comfort zone. When you're young, you don't even realize it. Maybe your parents and family even encourage you. They say, "Wow, you're so good at that. That's amazing. Congratulations." Not realizing that what you're actually good at is your own downfall. It is going to be this brick that is chained to your ankle that you're going to be dragging around with you. And until you just let it go, you're going to find that things just don't work out right. You might accomplish what you're after, but for some reason, it just never feels good. You never feel accomplished. And the reason why is because for multiple lifetimes, over and over and over, you've been doing the same thing. You have been living in a comfort zone. The more and more you stay in that comfort zone, the darker it gets. So, get out now. Get out as soon as you can. If you're 21 years old and watching this, congratulations, I wish I were you. But some people never realize it. And that's why you'll find that if there's a person that's happy, they have realized their north node and they're starting to head towards it. If there's a person who's miserable and they're 70 years old, it's because they're still stuck in their south node. Ew. So you know the astrology globe. It's a picture of a globe and that has this arrow through it. Well, that globe is called an astrolabe. The arrow is pointing towards the north node and the south node is the direction you want to go away from. Okay. It's also referred to as the dragon's head and dragon's tail. The dragon's head, of course, is where you want to head. The dragon's tail, not where you want to go. Does this mean you have to abandon all of these things you're good at? I mean, you work lifetimes to achieve all this stuff. Do you really just have to let go everything you've learned? No, of course not. But it's best if you use those things to mentor other people. Teach other people what you know and let them be the star of that show for this life. Because you have a whole different role to play. And life isn't about doing what you're good at. Life is about figuring out what you're not good at. The north node and south node are also referred to as karma and dharma. So here you have the north node. Hello. North node is dharma. And over here you have the south node, your past. This is karma. When people say karma is going to catch up to you, that's what we're talking about here. It's to say that everything that you've done in a past life is catching up to you now. Yeah, some is good. Yeah, some is bad. But everything that has been rehashed over and over and over too many times, it's becoming a broken record. That's your south node. All right, so now, like a magical page, I'm going to snap my fingers and we're going to go into your magical north node and south node. Here we go. Cancer north node, Capricorn south node. I instantly think of the movie Boss Baby. Because when they're kids, that Capricorn energy makes them very mature, responsible, and probably extremely bossy, ordering everyone around. In a past life, they were probably a nun or some kind of religious person living in a monastery. They were limited to express their emotions. They had to keep it all contained. You guys also had to live a very regimented life without much freedom to express how you felt, or moods were not allowed. These are past lives of being a landowner or a boss of some sort where you're closed off from the rest of the people. There's a lot of loneliness to that because Capricorn energy can be kind of depressing because it's isolated. being the leader, you're not there with the group. You're in charge, and there's not a lot of friendship or camaraderie. It's very formal. Capricorn South Nodes don't always know how to have fun. Everything is kind of stiff. They have learned to shut themselves off from living in the moment, that childlike spontaneity. They're a bit like Benjamin Buttons, where they're going to age backwards, which is kind of cool. For them, it's all about work, and they don't even realize it. They think that that's how everybody else is. They really have no clue what a personal life is. For a Capricorn South Node, if they're not in touch with their North Node energy, then their idea of romance is a business partner. As children, they'll probably fantasize about the companies that they're going to run. Instead of playing house, they'll probably play office. They are extremely hard on themselves. They almost kind of raise themselves because they're so strict that they can never live up to their expectations. Their parents will probably usually find that they don't really have to be that stern with them because they're already doing it. So Capricorn South Nodes, learn to lighten up. Learn to be vulnerable. Probably you might have to learn how to cry again. Somewhere along the line, after all these lifetimes of being so responsible and so suppressing of your emotions, you have lost the ability to cry, like a really good cry. And you'll probably look at people that have that Cancer-like energy and you'll see them just crying all the time, and you'll just be thinking like, what is it with you people? What's wrong with you? Why are you doing that? A Capricorn South Node is burying so much. They are out of touch with who they are and what they feel. This can get lost in translation because everyone earlier in your life, especially adults, they see you as like, wow, they have it together. They're very responsible. They're very structured. They're just a great kid, you know? So in life, you'll probably be rewarded for being that Capricorn energy because the world kind of runs off of Earth attributes. Emotions on planet Earth are regarded as weakness. This is not a weakness. This is what gets you in touch with your humanity. It's what gets you in touch with being happy, your spirituality, feeling alive. Without those things, life gets really stagnant. Now, the trick is to find people that you respect, that you think are actually superior than you. Because Capricorn South Nodes can be a little pompous. If you find somebody that you respect, then that's a great sign. Often, what you don't understand is that people around you kind of become projects, responsibilities, chores, and sometimes you even think of them as children that you have to take care of because they are just so emotional. And you feel like, oh, they need me, right? Well, maybe you actually need them. More than that, you need people that you respect, someone you can learn from. And it's not in the terms of work and the business world, but it's in terms of Cancer kinds of things like emotions, somebody who has a really great understanding of emotions, someone who is very maternal and has great instincts regarding parenting and that kind of energy. Everything that is centered around the home is very foreign to you guys. And that's where you're going to learn more than climbing the corporate ladder. You've already climbed the corporate ladder. You have already succeeded multiple times over. And in this life, yes, you could probably succeed again, but it won't feel the same. It won't feel like an accomplishment. It will just feel like a burden. If you delve into things like parenting and the home life and the quiet moments, you're going to find that there's something very magical and special. And it's because your emotions will start coming out. And all these emotions you've buried for lifetimes over will finally be able to be set free. Kind of amazing. Usually a Capricorn South Node early on in life, they're going to be very critical of anything regarding the home, mothering, and parenting. They're going to see it as a lesser thing, like, oh, well, that's for people that aren't as educated. That's for people that aren't as talented or hardworking. They don't have goals because Capricorn South Nodes are all about goals. But then as they get older, they step into their Cancer energy. They will see great mothers and caretakers as the highest form of evolution, because you guys will finally see what is so special about all of that Cancer-like energy. The internal life versus the external life, the private life versus the public life. Usually there's also going to be a lot of women or yin energy that are going to transform your life. You will see something from them and it will create a spark in your head and create a question. and it will lead you down that North Node path. Cancer North Nodes have an extreme reverence for the feminine qualities because Cancer is such a feminine sign. They will probably become great defenders of women and want to not protect like they're helpless, but really want to bring justice to the people that represent more of that Cancer-like energy. Let me know what you guys thought of my take on Cancer North Node, Capricorn South Node, and come back for the next video. Subscribe.